Welcome back, everyone. So excited that you are here. To all my beautiful sisters, welcome. Welcome back to another hot, blazing hot episode of the H.E.R podcast. H.E.R stands for Healing, Empowerment, and Restoration because that's what we do in this space. We are all things healing. We're sharing tips and tools to help heal traumatic past and wounds that we're still carrying, things that have happened to us that have oftentimes left us broken. So we're sharing what we can do to heal those wounds. We're also talking women's empowerment, all things women empowerment. What is it that we can do to really harness and to reignite that power that is already on the inside of us and really own the space that we are in? And then lastly, we're talking about restoration. And what I mean by restoration, that is restoring us to the women that God had truly created us to be and showing up as her in this world. So I'm excited. We're about to jump in. If you are new to this space, I am Dr. Tam. I am your empowerment coach. I'm also a fierce and phenomenal female entrepreneur who's out here every day in this marketplace doing God's business. In a former season, I actually served as an educator for almost 17 years. And in that space, I helped hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of women and children just to have better lives. And so I'm continuing that work in this new season. Now, my primary focus is to help middle-aged professional Christian women to get unstuck, to get out of our own way, to face our fears, to overcome self-doubt, so that we can finally start pursuing our own goals and dreams and truly living the lives that God has intended for us, living our best life. So I'm here, I'm back with another hot episode. And so today, once again, we are still talking about fear. Last week, we talked a little bit about fear. I got another hot one for you this week. And I'm going to tell you something. This one came to me early this morning. So literally, my first thought when I'm laying there, I'm kind of coming back into consciousness. I'm laying there in the bed and I'm thinking about Joshua, in the book of Joshua, where the spies had gone into the promised land, but yet they came back and they said we were as grasshoppers. So I'm thinking about that, right? I get up, I get started on my day, and then I tune into a sermon by my pastor, and lo and behold, he's coming from today's message actually came from the book of Joshua. Chapter 14. And I'm like, okay, Holy Spirit, what's going on? What is up with this? And so whenever I get signs like that, I lean in a little bit closer because I know that is one of the ways that God actually communicates with me, like through dreams, and especially when things start like connecting like that. So I lean in a little bit closer. But the whole underlying premise to the message was about fear, like how they actually saw themselves. So I want to get into that, talk a little bit more about that with you today. And I also want to share 3 strategies that I know that is going to bless you and to help you to better manage fear in our everyday lives. I have learned that a lot of times when we are afraid of something, that which we are afraid of is also afraid of us. Right? So when I think about the children of Israel, going through the wilderness and about to go into the promised land, and God had already told them, hey, I'm sending you to this place where there's, flowing with milk and honey, right? This is the promised land. What he did not tell them was that also already occupying that land were giants. Okay? So I want you to think about things that we sometimes face in everyday lives. We know that we know it's ours. Like, you know that it's already been, like it's a gift that has been given to you. Someone says, oh, hey, I have this gift for you. Can you come over and pick it up or something like that? But yet then when you get up and leave, it just seems like there's traffic, there's car accidents, there's all these obstacles that you have to go through to get to this gift that someone has already promised you. All you have to do is just go pick it up, right? Somebody tells you, hey, I got $100,000 over here. I've been meaning to give it to you. I really believe in what you're doing. I want you to have it. Can you come over here and can you pick it up? Now, honestly, how many of you're not going to worry about how much traffic. You don't worry about care how long you have to sit in traffic. You finna go get that 100K, right? Because someone has already told you. But yet that drive over to get that thing that's already been promised to you, you're going to face some opposition. There's going to be some challenges. You got to deal with traffic. It's really hot outside. You may run into an accident. People out there crazy driving, all of these things. Maybe somebody calls you, gives you bad news or something like that. So all of these things like back to back to back, right? That's how it was for them. The promise had already been given to them, but they had to go through something in order to get it. Does that sound familiar to any of us? That sometimes when the temperature, when the fire gets a little bit too hot, you like, nah, don't even worry about it. You know what? Just forget it. I don't even want to have to deal with that. How many of us have ever been in those places? You get frustrated. Sometimes some of us can get frustrated very easily. It doesn't take very much at all. And then you be like, just forget it. I don't want to do it. Right? If that sounds like you or somebody I want you to drop a comment for me. Or if it's somebody put them. Just let me know, because I think that's us. Like, right? Like when you have to put in a little work or it's going to take a little time to get that thing. We rather just say, no, just forget it. Just forget it. And so that's exactly what was happening here in the book of Joshua, chapter 14. So in particular, the verse that came to mind was Joshua chapter 14, verse 33. If you haven't already, go ahead and grab your journal, grab a pen. I want you to jot this down, because when you have time, I want you to go back and read the whole thing just to kind of get the context. Read the whole chapter, all of chapter 14, just to get the context of what was actually going on. Okay? I'm going to try to give you as much as I can without being too long-winded today. But Joshua chapter 14, verse 33 reads, "And there we saw the giants, the sons of Anak, which come of the giants. And we were in our own sight as grasshoppers. And so we were in their sight." Did y'all catch that? Did y'all catch that? That one little part. And we were in our own sight as grasshoppers. Yes, they're up against these giants. But mind you, that same land that the giants were occupying, it was already theirs. It was already theirs. Y'all, I got to share this really quickly, because I remember as a little girl, I had a big wheel. Y'all remember big wheels? I used to love my big wheel. Now, I also had a bad habit of leaving my big wheel outside. Well, my neighbor, whenever her grandkids would come over, sometimes they would come over into our yard and get my big wheel. I didn't like that, right? Because didn't nobody tell them that my big wheel was theirs, but they came all up in that land, up in our yard to get it. So what did I do? That big wheel was mine. Yes, it was over there now in her front yard. I went over there and I got my big wheel. And then soon, it didn't take me too much long. After that, put your stuff up. And ain't nobody gonna bother your stuff. So that's what I started doing from that. But it's just like that. It was already mine. So I went back over there and got it. I don't care who said what to me. It was already mine. Now I'm a little girl. So yes, there's adults over there. It didn't matter. Those adults were like giants to me. I don't care. Yes, I'm coming into your yard, but what's in your yard belongs to me. So I'm coming to get my big wheel. That's exactly how it was for them. But in their eyes, they saw these giants and they were like, oh, we're like grasshoppers in our own sight. That's how they saw themselves. Y'all, that is a prime example of fear all day long. That's fear. That's what fear looks like. That even if you know that something is yours and there is a little bit of pressure, there's a little bit of opposition, you got to jump over a couple hurdles to get what is already yours. Instead, you said, oh, and you turn and you walk away. So then they go back and now they're telling Joshua that, oh, I mean, yeah, the land is everything that you said that it was. But there's also giants over there. Nobody told us that there were going to be giants, but it was already theirs. Why? Because God had already promised it to them. Now that's a word that we can stand on. That's foundational. That's fact. Because God had already promised it to them. It's not like he was setting them up or anything like that. On the contrary, it was a fixed fight. He said, I don't care what you got, what comes up in front of you, it's already yours. Don't worry about it. Go get it. But that's us, right? So you think about maybe there is a promotion. There's a new position that was just posted and you're looking at it and you're like, oh, I want that. I know I can do that. But then in the break room, you're an old girl and them over there cackling in the corner, talking about they know they're gonna give it to them. They know that. And so then what do? You don't even mention it to anybody. But in your head, in your heart, you have already counted yourself out. When you know that is what God has for you. You heard the Spirit speak to you. You felt a movement. You felt something when you saw that posting, like something was inside of you, just like, ooh, that's for me. But yet, you don't want your little self up in that break room. You hear them folks over there talking. And so now you have allowed yourself to talk yourself out of advancement. That's fear. Okay. So what do we do? Especially when you know that you have received a word, when you know it is something that you are supposed to be doing. I'm going to be very honest with you right now in this season. Even the fact of me being on here and sharing with you all on a podcast. Number one, it was never something that I ever saw myself doing. Number two, me even pursuing this is truly spirit-led. Because this is not even something that was on my radar, to be very honest with you. But yet it is an opportunity for me to share and for me to help other women to overcome some of the things that I have already come through. So that's why I'm on here now, sharing all of this with you right now. Okay? I'm working through fear. So as I'm about to share these 3 strategies with you, I want you to think about fear as a friend. Let's change our perspective, our mindset when it comes to fear. Fear is what usually stops us. And that's what keeps us stagnant, just keeps us stuck in a place. You still sit in that same cubicle that you've been in for the past 12 years because you didn't go up for that position because of fear. So that fear, what we are going to do, we're going to change our perspective about fear. Fear is our friend, not our foe. Fear is our friend, not our foe. So as our friends, what do we do with our friends when we go places? We take them with us. Y'all want to go? Come on. Let's ride. We are taking fear with us, and we are pushing through. We are pushing beyond. We are getting unstuck because there are things that are there. There's goals and dreams that have been placed on our hearts that is just waiting. God is just waiting for us to take that first step and just to move. Okay? All right. Now, really quickly, if you are with me, if you are on board, if you're saying, yes, I can do this, I want you to drop a 1, leave a 1 in the comments right now. As you're listening to this, I want you to comment 1. I'm the one that's about to get unstuck and push past this. I'm taking fear with me. I'm taking fear with me. Okay? All right. We got this. We got this. Practical, everyday strategies that we can use to help us to overcome fear. Number 1, the first strategy that we are going to use, daily affirmations. And somebody might be saying, man, I swear every video she talk about, does she get on? She be talking about daily affirmations. True. And I talk about it. I'm sharing it with you because daily affirmations, I know that it works, but it's not going to work until one day it does. You just got to keep doing it. You just have to keep doing it. And when I'm talking about daily affirmations, I'm speaking specifically about who the word of God says that we are. So biblical daily affirmations. Literally speaking God's words over yourself every single day. For example, Ephesians 2:10. That we are God's masterpiece, created anew to do the good things that He has planned for us to do. We are God's masterpiece. You know what that means? We're priceless. I want you to think about the most expensive man-made artwork that you can probably ever think about or maybe even heard about. Baby, you're worth more than that. You are worth more than that. You are God's masterpiece. You are God's masterpiece. Speak that over yourself every single day. It's a new day. I have been created anew. I am God's masterpiece. Okay? Another one I'm going to share with you, Galatians 4:7, that we are a child of God. We are heirs. As an heir, that means that we are royalty. So when you sitting there in that cubicle, even though you felt in your spirit, you felt called and moved to go apply for that position, but yet you didn't do it, that was dropped into your spirit because as an heir, it's yours. It's already yours. Go get it. It is already yours. Let's go get it. Okay? Also, at the very end, what I'm going to do, because I have a whole list of them. I have a list. I have a resource that I have created. I'm going to link it in the description of this podcast, of this episode. And I want you to go and grab it. I want you to print it out. I want you to start reading over them every single day. These are God's words. These are biblical affirmations that we can speak over ourselves every single day. You are speaking to God's spirit that is already inside of you. And let me tell you, when that thing gets to clicking and lining up, you're like, oh, wait a minute. You start walking different. You start walking different. Your back is straight. Your shoulders are back. Your head is up high. Okay. I know that I'm a masterpiece. I know that I am an heir. I am royalty. I am God's chosen. I am His precious. I am honored. I am loved by Him. Watch what I say. Watch. You ain't got to take my word for it. Go on and try it for yourself. I dare you. I double dare you. Just go on and try it for yourself. All right. Strategy number 2. I want you to make a list of accomplishments. Okay. So one way for us to overcome fear in our everyday practical lives, because a lot of times we look and we was like, oh, I can't do that. However, when you go back and you look at the things that you have already done, y'all, we done so much stuff, we done forgot about it. When you sit down, for example, take a look at your resume. I don't care if you have only worked at McDonald's. You have customer service skills. Okay? You know how to create systems, how to follow through a system. You know these things because you've already had those experiences. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a list of our accomplishments, the things that we have done, places and things where we have been successful in our lives. And when that old ugly fear starts rearing up in you and you like, oh, I don't know. I know. Go look at that list to remind yourself, ooh, dang girl, you bad. Look at that. Absolutely. You sure did. You did that. All right. So grab your list, make a list, start with your resume. If you don't have a resume, don't worry about it. You're going to start because you done something right in your life. You making a list of all of that. And when fear comes up, that's what you're reading over. All right. All right. I hope y'all stay with me. We just got one more. We're about to wrap it up. I'm going to drive it home. Our third strategy that we are going to use to help us to overcome fear in our everyday lives is seek wise counsel. Let me tell you, the company you keep can make you or break you. The company that you keep can make you or break you. When you feel that fear is coming up and you start second guessing and you start doubting yourself, you go to your tribe, your team, your group, your squad, your girls, whatever it is that you want to call them. But I said wise counsel. These are people who are like-minded. These people who are going somewhere. These are people who are doing things, big things in their lives. You can see the movement in their lives. You can see that their steps are being ordered. You seek counsel for them because a lot of times when you take it to someone else, they can give you a whole new perspective and make you see things that you hadn't even thought of. I was speaking with a friend just a couple of days ago, and we used to work together years ago at an elementary school together. And I was telling her about this one event, and she was like, "Girl, do you remember the time you took the group of boys to the Brain Bowl?" And I said, "You know what? I did do that, didn't I?" Totally forgotten about it, right? But that was a success. Not only did the young men, did they prevail and came out with first and second place, they killed it. I'm telling y'all, it was amazing, right? And I was their coach. So even just talking things over a lot of times to other people, to wise counsel, can give you a new perspective. Okay? So these are the 3 strategies, everyday practical strategies that we can use whenever we feel fearful or whenever you start doubting yourself about something. Let's go do that thing. Okay? Fear is our friend, fear is our friend, not our foe. You're just going to have to take fear with you. And as time goes on, you will find that it's going to get a little bit easier and easier and easier. Take that first step. All right, ladies, that's all that I have for you today. I am Dr. Tam, your empowerment coach. Sis, be healed, be empowered, be restored, because you are her. I'll see y'all on the next episode of the H.E.R podcast. Oh, before I forget, I'm dropping that link down below for you. Check it out in the description. I also want you to drop a comment. If you find that these strategies are helping you, if this content is helping you, let me know, because this is what I want to put out. This is what we do in this space. We give practical tips, tools, and strategies to help you to become healed, empowered, and restored. I checked the comments, y'all. I check the comments, so leave me a comment. All right. I'm Dr. Tam, your empowerment coach. Be healed, be empowered, be restored, because you are her. I'll see you next time.